minutes were circulated via email. Any corrections to the minutes? Anybody? Awesome. Okay, so no corrections, minutes are approved as circulated. First on the agenda is Ms. Lindsay.
Me again. Last time. Film on Sunday, 3 o'clock. We do have a few spots that are still available on the sign up. I know a couple people just signed up yesterday, so that's great. Thank you. We need a couple people to take pictures. We need some ushers in the beginning. And it'd be really helpful to have some mic runners. So if you are going to be there, if you can sign up for some of these positions, that would be phenomenal. So they're pretty short and sweet and easy. If you have any questions about what the roles are, just let me know. Those of you that did sign up, if you can wear your junior league gear, that would be great. At the very least, wear your name tag, but sweatshirts or t-shirts would be great, just so we can kind of be identified. If you know of any children, hopefully like 8 and up, if you have any students that you're connected to, if they want to come, we do have tickets that are available. They were the student donated tickets. We have about 30 of them. If you are interested in claiming any of them, if there's an organization near and dear to your heart, you run a Girl Scout troop, whatever, please let us know so we can have those tickets set aside for those kiddos and they can just come. We'd love to see them. I think that is it. If you can please just remember to like, share, post on the event again, that would be great, and buy your tickets. And pray for good weather.
Yes. We're having it no matter what this time.
Happening.
We're having it. We don't care.
Yes.
We will drive you there in a snowplow.
It's gonna be great.
We're doing it.
We have a great panel for the discussion. Sharon Mass is gonna be helping us out, moderate that, so yeah, join us on Sunday. Any questions?
How many tickets did you say are sold?
91, and 30 of those are the student donated tickets, so we really want to make sure that those get utilized and have they look full. Okay? Any other questions? Awesome, thank you.
Thank you, Lindsay. All right, next is our treasurer, Jess Bilek. Where are you, Jess? Yay! For some financials excitement.
Excitement, yay. Just what everybody's excited to hear, right? And just a note, you can buy the film tickets up until Saturday. So you can still go online to our website and buy those and donate tickets.
And you can also walk in.
And you can always walk in with cash, we love cash. Okay, so this can be kind of dry and boring, so I tried to make it a little more fun and exciting, but I'll try and be short and sweet. If you have any questions, you can talk to me separately, or feel free to ask them as I'm going along. So I kind of wanted to, this time of year is when we're starting to work on our budget for next year, and we're also, nominating placement is already working on trying to work on the slate and figure out who's gonna do what next year. So I kind of incorporated a little bit of everything just for knowledge for people that aren't as familiar with the way things go and how we're organized and set up, because the money goes along with how we're set up. So to start off, move the next slide. We have 3 councils. Okay, so does anybody, before we get to that slide, just kidding. So we have 3 councils. We have a community council, we have the financial resources council, and the membership council, which each has a vice president, and then there are committees that fall underneath all 3 of those councils. Before you go to the next one, does anybody know any of the committees in the community council? Go ahead, Sarah.
Community development.
Awesome. Anybody know anything else?
Advocacy.
Advocacy. Anybody know the last one? The one that talks about us to the rest of the world? PR, very good. So community council is made up of, go ahead. Community development, PR, and advocacy. So each of those committees all have their own budgets. The next is financial resources. Anybody know any of the committees on the financial resources?
Special events.
Special events, woohoo! What's the other one? Anybody know?
Community contributions.
Awesome, good job. Both of those also have their own budgets. Glass Council's membership. Anybody know any of the committees on membership? New member, awesome.
Nominating and placement.
Nominating placement. Training arrangements.
MIT.
Awesome, MIT. There you go. All right, does anybody know which committee makes the most money for Junior League? Special events, woohoo! Yay! Keep going.
Of course.
Of course. There are awesome money makers. We just had Fall Fest in November, and we also have Touch Truck coming up. So we have two big events for special events. Can we go to the next slide? So these are our big sources of income. On the left are what we planned in the budget for how much revenue we thought we were going to make. And on the right is what we have to date. So Fall Fest, we were looking for $40,000 and we broke the bank on that one, over $51,000. So good job, ladies. Touch a Truck, we're looking to get $7,000. We're going to keep our fingers crossed that the rain is going to go away, because last year the rain really kind of stunk. And so that's also Easter weekend. So that's me, I'm sorry. It's Easter weekend, so we're hoping that all the grandparents are going to bring all the grandkids, and we're going to have lots of people. So the next big one is dues, which the reason why our actual is a little less than our budgeted was just because of member enrollment ups and downs. The next is a film, which is this Sunday, don't forget. We're hoping to make $1,000. And the last big one is our investments, which fluctuate with the market. As of the end of January, we were kind of down, but that's going to pop right back up. I'm not worried about that at all. Next slide. Our other big, back one. That's okay, you can go there and just go ahead. That's okay. The next one, our other sources of income, community contributions is budgeted at $18,000. Right now, we're about $7,250. We are working on, Amanda's working next year on overhauling community contributions a little bit. Our endowment, we've received about $1,200 in donations, which the money that comes to us for the endowment goes directly to our endowment fund, which is a money market account. We've budgeted for $2,000 in grants, and we have about $4,000 in donations already to date. Okay.
Is that where we're at?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
That's where we were.
I'm sorry, guys. Okay, here we go.
Here we go. Okay. So, community contributions, endowment, grants, donations, what we have budgeted, and where we are actually to date. Okay, next one. Does anybody know which committee spends the most money?
Special events.
Special events. Of course. Right? You need to spend money to make money. But actually, we spend more money donating or giving money for grants to nonprofits than we do to run Fall Fest. We have enough money built into our budget that we are able to donate to other organizations, and we pride ourselves on supporting our community, and part of that is giving money to other organizations to help with their initiatives and their causes. Okay, you can keep going. All right, so here we are, recap of our our expenses, I went by council. First is membership council, nominating placement. Can everybody read that, or is it too small? I don't really want to spoon feed, but pretty much the money on the left is the budget, the money on the right is where we're at. We're doing great with money this year. Everybody's doing a great job keeping their eye on their budget. I'm not worried about running out of money, especially for membership. Want to do that? Next is community council. I want to make a note about the community youth volunteer awards. We as a board this year decided we have a lot of focus on donating money for our scholarship, and we want to focus on that this year, and we're going to skip giving a youth volunteer award at annual dinner this year, so we will be adjusting the budget next year to remove that line item. The money that we have spent for that at this point is money that was not slotted for anything in particular, and since we had the money in the budget, we just decided to put it there. Community development is doing great. Website maintenance, that is something that we overhauled our website and looks fantastic. We're doing a great job maintaining it. Annual report, we decided this year, instead of going from the book style, which was costly to produce and send out, we have a one-page fact sheet, which looks amazing, and that's also much less on the budget, so we'll be cutting that next year. PR, the big line item in PR was our $6,000 sponsorship with Women to Women, which we did at the beginning of the year. And advocacy is doing great. Next slide. Last is the Finance Council. Special events. Special events was a little bit over with their expenses, but they made a lot of money on the other side, so that's nothing to be worried about. There's a $1,000 budget for Touch a Truck, which we never go anywhere close to spending that much money. And community contributions has only spent $83. Next slide. And then the other items that are kind of the behind the scenes are conferences, which is something that Brittany really wanted to focus on this year, sending somebody to each of the conferences. So that was a big budget item at $14,000, but we've only spent just shy of $11,000. Non-council expenses, that includes our BMAL, our board member at large, and the President's Fund. Professional fees, that's our dues and our fees that we have to pay to our accountant. And our operating expenses, that's a big line item, but that's pretty much everything that we need to keep headquarters up and running. Anything from the copier to repairs, maintaining the property, things like that. Does anybody have any questions on that? I know it's a lot of money to talk about, but a lot of information all at one time. Go ahead.
Where's the summit? I know that's separate from the community.
It is. Young Women's Summit, we decided last year that that is our initiative, and we have a whole separate account, an initiative account, money market account. And so we have actually, it's not listed in the budget because every dollar we spend on that, we will pull and be reimbursed from that initiative fund account. So we have lots of money that we've been raising for many, many, many years so we can do our initiative. So we decided last year, instead of making it an operating budget, that we would take whatever we make throughout the year to pay for Summit, that we would take the money that we've made from previous years and designate it for initiative to pay for Summit. So as of right now, we've only spent about $500 for Summit. We have $10,000. We have $10,000 budgeted, so I trust Jess. She's going to spend everything.
Don't forget about the fleece fabric. It's okay. You can afford it.
That's right. We can afford it.
Extra goodwill.
Okay, next slide. So where are we in the Junior League calendar year? Go ahead. Our calendar year runs June 1st through May 31st. So we are going to go, we started June 1st, 2018 through May 31st, 2019. So we're about 3/4 of the year through. So as you can tell from the budget, we're doing a really good job of staying within budget this year. And last slide. What's left? The best is yet to come. We still have the film on Sunday. We have Young Women's Summit coming up in just a couple weeks. The collaboration imperative that's coming up in March. We have Touch a Truck, and then annual dinner. So we have a lot of fun things left. So thanks for listening.
Does anybody have any questions for Jess? Concerns? Our bylaws that are in place now, which govern us, require that we present our budget to membership. So even though it isn't the funniest or sexiest part of what we do, it's a requirement, and thank you, Jess, for making it as fun
She
as
made it pretty
possible. Yeah, she did, right? She did. Okay, so Jess talked a little bit about the fact that we have an initiative fund. So our initiative fund funds things that are in line with our initiative, which is youth empowerment. So there's 10,000 in there for Young Women's Summit, and there is 15,000 in there. 7,500 of that we gave to Girls on the Run, and 7,500 we gave to Voice Up. We made those decisions last year to give those dollar amounts because both organizations pretty much have the same initiative we do. They're all about youth empowerment. So I thought it might be helpful tonight, especially for new members, to just hear a little bit about those organizations, why we give them money, and how they're connected to Junior League. So first is going to be Krista Renninger. Krista is the program coordinator for Voice Up Berks. Thank you, Krista.
Stand over here. Happy Galentine's Day, everyone. I just learned about that today. So Voice Up Berks, what we do is connect people throughout the community to engage in meaningful service learning opportunities. So you can just flip through, sorry, way too many slides. Flip through the next one. So the background of our organization, we officially formed in 2015, but with 3 former Junior League presidents. So they were very inspired by all the great things going on at Young Women's Summit, and wanted to take it, I guess, to the next level. We became a fund of the Berks County Community Foundation, and then we became an affiliate of the Youth Volunteer Corps, which is a national organization that engages youth ages 11 to 18 in service learning. So we actually have 3 sectors we touch. Youth is by far our largest and most engaged. We also work with individual adults and groups, and then corporate small business. These are some of our nonprofit partners. It's not an exhaustive list, but these are people we've done collaborations with in the past or going to in the future. This year we work all over Berks County. And I just want to talk a little bit about things we've been doing just this year with Junior League. We facilitated the Sustainers Done in a Day. I was out there with them at Opportunity House to serve lunch. We're working right now with Junior League and RKL on a project to build reading centers that are going to Opportunity House, painting little taller chairs and boxes so they can have books, so when they move into more permanent housing, those can go with them.
We still have chairs and crates at headquarters that need to be painted. Anybody who wants to.
It's a really, really adorable project too. As we mentioned, we're collaborating with you to bring Vicki Clark in March. And every year we have lots of Junior League members come out to Global Youth Service Day. Last year, you guys were painting rocks. It was awesome. So, and that's just some, that doesn't touch everything, but we are collaborating with Junior League throughout the whole year. So Youth Volunteer Corps is actually an international organization because they have a couple in Canada, but they're throughout the country, and they help provide us with curriculum and support to run our programs. And again, it's a service learning model, and basically that just involves doing the service, but also educating them about why that is important in the community and doing a reflection on what that service meant to them. So we run this in a few ways. We have school-based programs in school and after school. We do community-wide. We have a summer of service with a week-long camp. We have an advisory board that's more high level, that's high school students, and then we have a couple annual events that we run. So our in-school is in 3 of the 4 Reading Middle Schools, and you can just keep going because I put way too many slides in here. Just some of the stuff we've done. One year we did a zero waste food day, and all the projects that we do with these kids are projects that they have identified that they are interested in. We do a community mapping, they identify the issues that are important to them, and then we find a project for them to express that. So it is different every year with every group. This particular one, they weighed all the food that was thrown out in 3 cafeteria periods at one middle school and composted it all. And it was amazing. If you want to talk about that more with me later, it's an awesome project. If you can just flip through these two. We've done anti-drug meme contests, we've done candygrams, we've done art projects. It really varies. Then we do community-wide, so these are not just the kids that we deal with every week in school throughout the school year, but usually once or twice a month. They'll be on the weekends or after school. Things like serving lunch, things like doing environmental projects, you name it, we've done it. We can flip through those. So done stuff for Meals on Wheels. We did a lot of weeding this summer out in Reading in advance of the Downtown Alive concert. If you haven't gone to one of those, you should, but we help beautify that area and make it look good. And yeah, those are just some more. It's too much to mention. We have so much. So we're doing stuff all the time. This was a big library build project with United Way Emerging Leaders United. We love to connect multiple groups together whenever we can. We run a week-long camp. They have classes in the morning at Albright, and then we take them out to various nonprofits. Last year we had an environmental theme, so we did Nolde Forest and Angola Fruit Farm and a bunch of different stuff. And that's all about our summer camp. Our advisory board is a little bit higher level. These are for kids in grades 9 through 12. We meet with them throughout the school year again, twice a month. And it's really to get them involved and also hear a youth voice in our programming. Those students are able to participate in annual meetings. This year we took 4 of them to Charleston, and they also have a chance to be in an international youth advisory board with kids from around the country. Our annual events, Global Youth Service Day, most of you are familiar with. It's held in City Park every year. This year it's Sunday, April 14th. We get 200-300 kids to come out for a few hours, engage in service, clean up the park, and then we have a celebration of their service. Last year, Mark Rossi's office gave kids who had served at least 30 hours commendations. It's just our way kind of celebrating all the good work that they've done. Can Structure is actually next month. I hope you'll come out to see it. What it is a structure building contest that fights hunger. We get groups of kids to run a food drive, get canned goods, build something amazing out of it based on our theme, and then all that food gets donated to the Greater Berks Food Bank. Last year was our first year. We had 10 teams. We kept it small on purpose. We got 3.2 tons of food to the food bank. And we get to move it too, which is the fun part.
I know, I'm moving some next Friday.
I know. This year we have 15 teams. It's at the Berkshire Mall. The creations are going to stay up for a week as kind of art installations, so we're really excited about it. Last year, our program year starts in the fall and runs through the year. We engaged 340 youth, 2,388 hours. They were involved in 88 projects with 30 collaborating organizations. Thank you. And that's a lot of our data. I could talk data, so if anyone wants to know what our outcomes are, we have great outcomes. The national organization has great outcomes, and we exceed them in every category. I just already did all that, but that's just all our programming. So what we have upcoming, if you have kids aged 11 to 18 and you're looking for something for them to do, March 2nd is our Youth Volunteer Group Day. We do that every year up at South Mountain Y, 10 to 2. Any of these are on our website. You can ask me about them. Can Structure, our team's already formed, but really come out to that event, bring your kids, bring your friends, and see what it's all about, because it's going to be a really neat event. Global Youth Service Day, Sunday, April 14th. I'm sure we'll be sending out things about having Junior League there and volunteering at that. On May 4th, we're actually going to be here, which is a first thing for us, and working on the Arboretum and cleaning it up, which is really neat because right after that, at 11, they're having a geometric bubble day. Did I get that right? it sounds like an awesome event, so come out for that too. And adult opportunities, we're doing a little bit more of this. So the week after CAN structure, we need a lot of help. So we're not actually doing the moving. We have the Reading High School football team is going to help us move because we needed football players for that. But we need to unwrap all these. So we're going to have thousands of cans wrapped in paper, nice and early in the morning before the mall workers get there. So if you can make that and want to sign up for that, that would be great. Global Youth Service Day, I'm sure we're going to see some of you guys out there for that. And then in May, we're running something at Belly at the Goggle Works. That's where our office is. And I don't know if you've been out to Belly yet. It's really awesome. We're going to be doing a project for veterans at Walter Reed that evening. So that should be, fun evening. And we always need team leaders, and you can read about that on our website. Any questions?
Anybody have any questions for Krista or about Voice Up? Amanda, did you want to take 2 minutes and talk about the survey you sent that's related to Voice Up? Sorry to put you on the spot.
No. So you might have noticed that you received a survey, so thank you those of you who did it. So I had a meeting with Christy Terrafigo, who is one of the founders and a past president of Voice Up Berks. And we're looking at ways of furthering our partnership with them next year. We love you guys, you do amazing work, and we want to kind of just get a little more involved with Junior League. And so we talked about a couple of different things involving a new member project, but we also talked about running a mini youth volunteer corps while we're having GMM. So that is what the survey was about. The thing is that your kids need to be 11 or older. So that's why it was just 2 questions. Do you have kids that are 11 or older? Would they be interested? So if you have enough interest, what would happen is, depending on how many, is that it would be maybe, the ideal picture would be 3 GMMs that Christy would meet with the kids while we're meeting. So we would be having meetings, they would be meeting, and it would be student driven. So they would figure out the project and do it. If there wouldn't be as much interest, we would do one, and it would be more of a done in a day. But that was where that grew out of. So we'd love to see it come to fruition. But yeah, so thank you to those of you who did it. If you haven't, it's really helpful if you do. Even if you don't have kids, just do it, and we'll know, and we'll keep it on the docket. You all do have
So
kids.
please do the survey, yes. Thank you, Amanda. Anyone have any questions for Krista or anything about Voice Up?
I just want to say thank you for your support every
Thank
year.
you.
We really appreciate it.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
We appreciate you taking the time. Okay, our other partner in youth empowerment is Girls on the Run. So please join me in welcoming Nicole Fryer, who is their board member.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. As Brittany said, my name is Nicole Fryer. I am a board member. I am the chair of the board as of January, and I'm thrilled to be here with you guys from Junior League. How many of you are not familiar with Girls on the Run? Okay, you inform your people very well.
Yeah.
We tracked it. How many of you have been a part of the fantastic group that has come to our 5K? Awesome, we love you guys, lots of you. I'm going to tell you a little bit about Girls on the Run, though, just in case you need a refresher. You can go to slide 2. Our mission is to inspire girls to be joyful, healthy, and confident using a fun, experience-based curriculum which creatively integrates running. It is completely curriculum-based. I'm holding a curriculum right here. I'm not going to read the whole thing to you. But our coaches follow a curriculum that's proven. And our vision is a world where every girl knows and activates her limitless potential and is free to boldly pursue her dreams. Next slide. Girls on the Run of Berks County is a local council of a national organization that is in all 50 states and serves over 200,000 girls annually. Next slide. Here in Berks County, we proudly offer all 3 GOATR programs. We have Girls on the Run, which is for 3rd through 5th graders. We have Heart and Soul, which is for 6th through 8th graders. And new this summer, Camp GOATR for incoming 3rd through 5th graders. So if you have girls that are going to be going into 3rd or 4th or 5th grade, you can sign them up for GOATR Camp. Registration opens March 1st. It's a week-long day camp, July 15th through 19th, and the girls will learn about friendship, connecting with other girls, and learning more about themselves. And also our spring registration registration is up and running right now, and our season officially kicks off on March 4th. So we're really excited to have 30 new teams and possibly still some more. Next slide. Last year we served 812 girls in 15 school districts and 1 community site, which is Body Zone. And we're proud to add Colonial Fitness as our second ever community site to the spring season. Next slide. A lot of people don't realize that a core part of our program is community service. Each team completes a community impact project as a part of their 10-week program. In 2018, Goater Girls completed 36 community impact projects in Berks County. Next slide. Our Goater Berks mandate is to never turn a girl away due to financial situation. In 2018, 391 girls received financial assistance, totaling $48,315 in scholarships. That's 48% of our participants for last year. This is only possible because of sponsors like you guys who support our mission year after year, so thank you for that. Next slide. In addition to sponsors, the other core element that keeps us running is volunteers. Volunteers like you guys at the 5K, but also our coaches are volunteers, and we literally could not have teams without them. We also have hundreds of other volunteers that help us pull off our 2 celebratory 5Ks every year. Next slide. I can tell you from personal experience that being a part of Girls on the Run is extremely rewarding in many ways. And a lot of you have been to our 5K, so I'm sure you felt that. There's the goodness you feel when you give back, the knowledge that we empower young girls to be strong women, but also the lessons we teach the girls that carry through into our everyday lives. I want to take a few minutes to do an exercise with you right out of our Girls on the Run curriculum. So, you are my Girls on the Run team, and I am your head coach. We're on lesson 3. So lesson 1, we learned about connecting with our Girls on the Run team, connecting with each other. Lesson 2, we learned about choosing to be a Goater girl and making choices, the right choices, to live like a Goater girl. And lesson 3, we're learning about our star power. So it's a visualization exercise. I'm not going to make you run around. All right, so place yourself in a comfortable position. Close your eyes. While you take a long, slow, deep breath in. As you breathe out, relax your body, starting with your toes, moving up to your shoulders, and ending all the way at the top of your head. Imagine that it is night and the sky is dark. From your window, you look up at the sky and see it filled with thousands of twinkling stars. Focus on one of the stars and make it your own. Watch how your star shines brighter in the sky as you focus on it. Your star is one of millions, and while all stars have similar qualities, there is no other star in the sky that is exactly like yours. Your star is truly beautiful and unique. You are just like that star. Although you are one of millions of people, there is no one just like you. There is no one who laughs like you, no one who dances like you, no one who thinks of the world in the same way you do. Now reach up as high as you can and pull your star out of the sky. Hug it so tight that it becomes a part of you and you can feel it shining in your heart. Your star is connected to every organ and cell in your body and gives you a special power, star power. When your star power is activated, others can see it through the twinkle in your eye and the love in your heart. You activate your star power when you help a friend or when you sing at the top of your lungs. And your star power is the strongest when you are doing the things that make you happy. Now imagine a cloudy night when you can't see the stars. Just like some nights there are clouds in the sky and you can't see the stars, you may have some cloudy times when it is hard to activate your star power. These clouds can make you say negative things to yourself like, I can't do it, or I'm not good enough. The more negative things you say or hear, the thicker and larger the clouds become, and you have a hard time remembering your star power. When this happens, remember that your star power still shines inside you, right next to your heart. When you lose sight of your star power, there are different ways to activate it again. You might take a deep breath in and out. Or you might do something that you enjoy, like read a book, listen to music, or go for a run. Sometimes, you may not know how to activate your star power, and you need someone to help you. They might do this by giving you a hug, telling you a joke, or listening to you. Take a moment to feel your star power and see it shining. Remember that your star power is always inside of you, letting you know how truly amazing you are. When you're ready, open open your eyes and see the star power of all the Junior League members around you. Thank you to each and every one of you for sharing your individual star power with Junior League. So as a mighty team of women, you can share your powers with Girls on the Run and keep us successful in running for many years. Any questions?
So one thing I just want to let everyone know, so the $7,500 that we give Girls on the Run funds 50 girls, full scholarships for 50 girls, so that they can run that normally they would not be able to run because they can't afford it. My question is, how are the community, I didn't realize they did community impact projects. How are those determined?
The team gets to decide together. It's a legit lesson plan in the book.
Okay.
One of the weeks becomes discussing the community service project that they choose to do.
Okay.
They've done things like thank you cards to the local police station near them for keeping them safe, or a donation drive for the Animal Rescue League, or blankets for children in the hospital. Whatever they decide. Positive Post-it notes all over their school. As a team, whatever they decide they want to do that best represents their season and what they are as a team together. And then they do their project in one of the lessons, and hopefully we have pictures on Facebook and you guys are following and get to see those things.
And just so those of you who are new members who may not know, Sandy Kraftcheck is the executive director, and she is a sustainer. So she is one of our Junior League members. Thank you. Anyone have any questions for Nicole? No? Thank you for being here.
you.
We appreciate it. Okay, and our last speaker, but not least, is Sharon Mass. So our largest youth empowerment program is coming up, our summit, February 23rd, 24th, March 3rd, and no, March 2nd and 3rd. Did I get those dates wrong? Keep me in check. I know, right? I should have those ingrained in my brain by now. So on each of your tables is the weekend in March. I know, right? In each of your tables is the training manual. Sharon, please get a copy of that in front of you right now, if you don't have it in front of you. If you need one, raise your hand, because there are extras on other tables. Everyone have a training manual. And Sharon is going to run us through what is going to happen at Summit.
Yeah.
Sharon.
All right. I was gonna say, you can see me, right? I don't need to get up there, do I? No, do I need a microphone? Do I need a microphone? I was, but we didn't. So. I don't really, nobody else had a microphone, I'm good.
So that you could get a feel for like how to have it like.
Oh, you mean for actual summit? Oh, I've done microphones enough, I'm good. Here, let me try.
We've never used it.
Gotcha. Tested. It's just red though. Hello. It's not on. Can you hear it? I don't think it's working. No. It's red instead of green.
Yeah, it's supposed to be red.
It's supposed to be red. Hello.
there
Can
you
you
go.
hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me good? Can you hear me real good? All right, it's working. I'm not using this right now.
That's how you need
All
it.
right, there we go. Okay, there you go. All right. Good evening, ladies. How are you? All right, so we're coming upon the next summit. Can you believe it? No. Oh my gosh. So I was trying to think how long I've been doing this with you, and I think Rachel Kuhn was the president at the time. So it's maybe 5 years, 6 years, something like that. But the thing that I love most is that every year when we put together a, I want to say a skeleton of what Summit's going to be. And the thing that I love most is that every year the group that is working on Summit looks over what we did the year before, and we review and reflect on what worked, what didn't work, what we want to do different, what do we know about girls today that maybe we didn't know before or that's changed. And the thing that I love is that every year the team that is working on this summit comes up with really neat new ideas. And we all talk about it. It's like, can we build this in? Can we build that in? And this year I am truly really, really excited about what this team has come up with. And could I just have the team stand up for a moment and be recognized? Because you guys came up with some really cool stuff. And we're going to go through that in just a moment. So give them a hand. I know they're like, was really neat because you don't want it to be stale, and you want every year to come up with, you know, to have some. What we designed is that there is some foundational work that we do every single year, and we put a curriculum together so that we had what we called a 2-year curriculum. So that if girls came back the second year, if they came in 7th grade or 6th grade, right? 7th grade, and then came back in 8th, or 6th and 7th, that's right. And they came back in 7th grade, then it wouldn't be the exact same thing. They'd have some things that were different. Though there are some things that we do year after year after year. So for those of you that are new, I'm gonna spend a few minutes and just go through what the summit looks like day by day, and go into a little bit of detail about some of the activities. I may ask a few of you in the audience to talk about your experience of that particular activity or what that was like for you, because I know there's some that stand out. And then what I'll do is in the training manual that you have, we really wanted to make this easy. And if you've never worked with girls, middle school age girls, wow, it's an experience, all right? But if you have, or if you don't have daughters yourself, or your daughters are grown, or they're not that old yet, then we wanted to be able to make this an experience that was really easy for you, and not something that you walked into Summit on the first day and said, oh my God, what am I doing here, and how do I do this? And I don't know these girls, and I don't know how to, you know, build a relationship with them. So we're gonna start out, and just let me ask you a question before we hit the first slide. Does anybody know, because this is your signature project. So what are the goals of Summit? And you don't have to have them verbatim, but what is your goal? What are the goals for Summit? What is it you're trying to do?
Empower
Go,
girls to be great leaders in their communities.
Absolutely. What else? We want them to be great leaders in the community. How do they do that?
Teach them about themselves and how to interact with each other.
Absolutely. So first they have to learn about themselves and learn about how who they are and what they stand for, how they interact with others. Okay. We want to teach them good communication skills. Casey.
Have them experience service learning firsthand.
Absolutely. And that's the common theme that I love tonight, is that through Girls on the Run, through Voice Up, through, and all of that, you know, kind of dovetails onto what you do. But that through all of this, there's that common thread of service learning. Not just volunteering, but that they're actually learning why the service is important. Who does it impact? How does it impact them? What's the difference it makes? And that's really, really critical. Because if they're going to be good members of society, then they have to be able to understand how each other impacts the other. All right? So, next slide for our 1, 2, 3 goals. Number 1, learn about themselves. Number 2, build their confidence and their self-esteem so that they can see themselves in a positive way. I love Nicole's little exercise because it's really important. I mean, think of yourselves as grown women. Sometimes we just have that voice in our head that goes, you know, I'm just not. Today, I'm not my best. I'm not this, I'm not that, I'm not her. And we have to quiet that and teach our girls, how do you use that? How do you see yourself in a positive way and use that to have a good impact on the community? And so we talk about leadership, communication, and critical thinking skills, okay? So day 1, they walk in, and one of the first things we do, and we do this every single year, because we found that this is a really great exercise for them to learn about themselves. And we do a fun little True Colors exercise. There's all these little colored dots. They take a little test, they learn about their styles, they go into different groups, and as a group, they come back and they have to go through several questions that we ask them, and as a group, they have to determine what is their color style. So are they organized and a good planner? Are they the life of the party? Are they analytical and you know, they really kind of get into, you know, doing things the right way? Or are they the best friend in the room? Those are the 4 basic kind of styles, and then we break out from there. But what's interesting is as you're being league members, you're doing this exercise with them. So you're not, many of these exercises, you're not leading. You're a participant with them. There are a few that you're going to lead, and I'll tell you which ones those are. But right now, this is just a fun way of them getting to know each other, and then we have a really cool conversation around what's it like to work with somebody or go to school with somebody who's different from you? What might that be like if Jess is a good planner you know, and I'm kind of all over the place like this, so she might get really annoyed at me because I'm not concentrating. So how do you work together with each other? How do you be teammates at school and be good friends when you have different types of personalities? So we have a lot of good, you know, a lot of fun with this. And from here, we go on, and we always do right before lunch, because that takes the first part of the morning, and we do icebreakers and all kinds of things. But then we always do an exercise or an activity around hopes and dreams. We have two things that we do. One is either what you see up here, which is a, yes, yeah, that thing. I can't think of the name. Thank you. Oh my God. This isn't being videoed, is it? Because I just suddenly we do a dream catcher, and we tell the story of the dream catcher, how Native American grandmothers would put them on the windows to catch the dreams and so forth. And then the second year, so that they're not doing the same thing, the second year we have them do a dream box, where we have these plain white boxes, and they can put stickers and all, you know, color them and do whatever they want on the box, and that's to put their hopes and dreams on. Because one of the things that I've learned in all the years of working in youth development and with families is that every parent has hopes and dreams for their kids. But sometimes those hopes and dreams don't get realized. So we want the girls at Summit to really feel that their hopes and dreams are being realized. And they have a lot of fun with, you know, doing this project. We have learned over the years to be much more prepared. We used to have them putting the, you know, the holes in and, you know, stringing, and now it's like, no, the paper plates come with the holes in, the strings are already cut, you know, we've made it so easy for you. So if you happen to be someone who's, you know, a team leader at that table, all the supplies that will be there for you. That's another thing that over the years that we've gotten really good at, and that is organizing the supplies so that, you know, some of you will be, you know, come that day and you'll be asked to be a team leader. Others will come and you'll be asked to, you know, your job is to get all the supplies out for the next activity while we're finishing up with one. So we have every activity in a box or in a bin labeled. Everything's there that you need. All you need to do is put it out. We've really made the process very streamlined and very smooth. So then we have discussions around why it's important to have hopes and dreams and how do you hold on to those when life, you know, sometimes throws challenges your way. All right? By this time it's lunchtime, and after lunch, we started with this activity 2 years ago, and I'd love if somebody would talk to this just a little bit. This was something that I did years ago when I worked at United Way, and I had the opportunity to go to Wilson Middle School. And they wanted, well, it was actually the Council on Chemical Abuse. That's where it started first. Had all the middle schools come together. And they asked me to do a workshop around character building and values and so forth. And I was trying to find a fun way to do that, but a way that was impactful. So what we did is we actually took emotions, all right, affects or emotions, and we put them around the room. Happy, sad, angry, humiliated, embarrassed, confused. And we probably had at least a dozen emotions on big little poster boards around the room. And then what we did is we told a story, a real life story of something that they most likely have experienced, might experience, all right? And so anything from a positive experience to a negative experience. So the negative experience might be school's out, you turned on your phone, or that evening you're at home, you turn on your phone, and you notice that someone you thought was your friend posted something about you on Facebook that wasn't very kind. And you felt pretty crappy about that. Worse yet, you know how girls can be. Under that, suddenly, the thread, other people started saying the same thing, or something similar. And what we said to the girls is, now, look around the room at the words and go to where you are feeling right now. And what, to me, I just got goosebumps, because what was so interesting to me is to see that not everybody went to the same place. Some people were confused. Well, why would she do that? She's my friend. Others were downright ticked off. They were angry. Others were like, you know what? I'm okay. I'm cool. She must not be a friend if that. And it was so what each scenario, and we did 2 or 3. What each scenario did was then we had a conversation with the girls that were over here that were angry. Well, why were you angry? Well, what's that like? Well, how do you act when you're angry? Ah, well, what's it like when you're confused or you're embarrassed? And we began to talk about that. Now, the interesting thing to me was that the junior league members also were under different words. And so we began to have this great conversation around what's it like to quiet that voice that may act inappropriately or may react to something that someone did to you because of that hurt, because of that embarrassment. And so we did both a positive and a negative. We had a young boy whose mother, I think, had cancer, and he, you know, his grades were slipping, and so the girl, I mean, they were amazing, the empathy in the room to turn around and be able to say, no, we can help. What can we do? How can we help him? How can we help him with his homework? How can we help him, you know, just to feel that people care about him? So it was a really great way to open the conversation around if you are going to go through life, you have to have some values and some habits to be able to help you get through the tough times. And that's a really important, you know, opportunity, or it's an important thing to remember. So that's how we kind of spent a good bit of that afternoon. You know, what were they feeling? Why were they feeling that way? Now, this was something we often ended with, but we decided instead of being the last day of the summit, we were going to move it up to the first day. And it's called, it's I Am poster. It's an empowerment poster. And I don't know if you can see this back there, but there's all kinds of words that are in white. And I am affectionate. I am strong. I am powerful. And it just all kinds of words, lots of different words. But this is a really cool poster that each girl gets to make her own poster and take it home. So by bringing it up to day one, it reinforces those values. Listen, the values are my GPS to get me to where I want to go. And this is going to be my visual reminder that I'm strong, that I'm confident, that, you know, I'm silly, that I'm optimistic, you know, whatever it might be. And they have all these little words cut out that they get to do, okay? Casey, you're smiling. Did you have anything you wanted to add to that?
Brings back great memories.
Yeah.
Cutting the words out.
Cutting the words out. Yeah, I'll tell you, the first year we did this is actually a kit that you can buy at Target or at in Amazon. And the first year we said, oh, you know, we're not going to spend $15 per kit for one. We're going to make them. And God loves some of you, like you did cutting to, you know, shoot. It was a lot of cutting. It was a lot of cutting. In fact, I think we had left over the following year. We had
That's what
plenty.
we're saying is the ones that were cut 2 years ago.
Yeah, we still have,
Still using
yeah, we
them.
had that many, yeah. So this is a great way to end day one, so it's really ending on a positive note. We made them think a little bit, we made them reflect, but at the same time, there's a lot of in between all of these activities, a lot of team building and a lot of icebreakers, and they leave day one on a really good note. Now here's something really cool, we have a new addition this year. So day two, the DoubleTree is coming to do etiquette class. So day two is only half day. That's 12 to 4. So the girls come and right away they get lunch. But what's going to happen this year is that the DoubleTree is going to be there to provide them the opportunity to not just have lunch, but learn about how do you present yourself. And I know that some of you had a little pushback on this when you had some discussions around it. But I have to tell you a personal story. I grew up on Ritter Street in Reading. Now Ritter Street is a little tiny side street. It's one lane, you know, one way, right off of Schuylkill Avenue. My parents did not have a lot of money. Now this is a long time ago. But the point was, I had the opportunity, so neither of my parents went to college. And while both of them were wonderful people and taught me a lot, there were things that they didn't know to teach me because we didn't have more than one fork, you know? So like, where does the salad fork go? Well, it's the same as the entree fork. You know, what do you mean? There's a different fork for that? You know, we didn't have that. And so what I had the opportunity to do is that the YMCA had a young women's etiquette class. And, so it was a summer and I needed stuff to do and I went and it was the coolest thing because what it taught me was not only about, okay, what fork to use, that was only part of it, but how do you walk into a room? How do you walk into a room where there's people you don't know and then strike up a conversation? How do you present yourself so that if you want somebody to take you seriously, you're not walking in like this, but you're walking in with your shoulders back, and how do you smile and make eye contact, and how do you shake hands? Oh my gosh, I did a lot of, through the years as I got older, a lot of, interviews. And that was one of the worst things I wanted to say to people: before you leave, please, let me teach you how to shake hands. Oh, good God. That was like not just women, but men. It was like, no, give me a hand. And so these are the things we want to be able to help these young girls do, because your parents can love you to the cows come home, but sometimes we don't know what we don't know, and we want to be able to provide them that opportunity. And I have to tell you that I really chalk up that etiquette class at the Y for giving me different opportunities when I was in middle school and high school, because of how I was taught to present myself. I'm not doing that tonight necessarily, as I'm walking around doing this. But anyway, that's one of the things that I'm really, really excited about that's new this year. And so that's going to be something that's going to take up the first part of the afternoon for about 2 hours. And then we start, now we've really got the girls on board and they're comfortable. So now we start getting into a little bit of stuff that goes below the surface, that touches on some, makes them really reflect and think about where they may not bring their best. So we have a series of activities that we do, and this year, we're doing, it's all under the umbrella of flash judgments. But this particular year, the activities that we're doing are 2, and one is labels. And so as each girl, and you as league members, would be doing the same thing, okay? You're participating in this with them. And so what we do is we put a label on your back of some type of person. You may be the first person in your family to go to college. You may be a father who lost 2 children in a fire. You may be a straight A student who cheated on an exam, okay? You get the drift? There's all kinds of labels. And what the girls have to do, and you, because nobody knows what's on their back, is you have to walk around, look at each other's label, turn the person back around so you can face them, and give them, without talking, give them some sort of communication as to what you think, what you see. So you may high-five them. You may be confused. Maybe they're your favorite rock star or rap artist who does drugs. I really like their music, but do I give them a high-five? Do I make a snarky face? So it gets very confusing. So people are walking around, and some people are feeling really good because everybody's giving them a smile or a high-five, or maybe they're hugging them and they're giving them this face of empathy. Maybe somebody else is getting that, not sure about you, or maybe people are just totally dismissing. And it's interesting because you get this little nervous giggle, because people are starting to get uncomfortable, and they're starting to realize that nobody's really liking me. So then what we do is we sit down and we start talking about what's it like to be judged when you don't know why you're being judged. And you know what? We do it, don't we? We do it all the time. So we get talking about that, and then we allow them to take their label off, and we talk about labels and the difficulty that labels, how labels get in the way. And it's a really, really powerful exercise. And that's followed up with my next favorite exercise in this kind of little, no, not yet. Back to the other one. Go back to the other one. Okay, go, one up, number 8. So part of, and that's why the little girl is there, the little girl is Josephine. And Josephine is a young lady who's a friend of mine, okay? There she is. That's Josephine. She's a friend of mine. And then I say something, and I put Josephine, she's actually on a poster, and I sit her aside of me, and I said, so this is my friend Josephine, she's really cool, and I give them, and they're all like, oh, Josephine, and I go, sometimes she stinks. They're looking at me. And when I say something derogatory about Josephine, I rip a piece of the paper of Josephine. She's just paper, and I rip a piece of the paper off. And I said, do you know Josephine? You want to say anything about Josephine? And next thing you know, and it's interesting, because it shows the power of power. And I've never seen anyone say anything else that was nice. Once I started to say something mean or just a little bit, everyone else did the same thing. And every time something mean was said, a piece of Josephine was ripped off. And so it's a really, really powerful visual, because then Josephine, next thing you know, by the time we get around the group, she's in pieces. So we talk about what's that like. And what's it like to get caught up with girlfriends and gossip and, you know, say mean things, even though you might not have wanted to say it, but you did. Okay, that type of thing. And so I asked them, do you think we can put Josephine back together? And we have tape. And a couple girls volunteer, and they're on the floor, and they're all taping her back together. And we hold her up, and they feel really good because they got her taped back together. But Josephine still had the scars. And some of you in this room could still tell stories about middle school and the scars that you carry. Now, you've overcome them, but you still remember them. And so it's a powerful way to end that day, to begin to help them see that, or not end the day, but for them to see that we're responsible for the good we do, but we're also responsible for the things we do that aren't so good. So because of that energy, Daphne, would you share anything at all that you would like about that exercise? Because I know that was one that was powerful for you.
I just said to Jess, it's like, thank you for putting this back in, because we did it 2 years ago. We couldn't do it last year because things happened, but this one is a powerful one. And when you, and the girls don't, I didn't realize it going through either, and then you tape her back together and you're like, yay, she's got a lot of scars.
Mhm.
And we, you know, it's just, it's so true. It's just life, and it truly teaches empathy, which is one big thing that we really need to, that I think is a focus out of this. Like, we need to teach empathy,
Yeah.
and this does that.
Yeah, we don't want girls to walk away feeling like, I feel good and I can do anything, but I'm not only thinking of myself. We want them to think of themselves, but also think of others. What would it be like to be in your shoes? So as I said, every other year there's different exercises. Last year we actually had 2 young women from Reading High School come, cheerleaders, and talk, and they were awesome, but because they were so good and the girls were so connected to them, we decided, all right, let them just keep talking and we'll take this exercise out.
And
But
that was great too.
yeah, it was, but that's why it's good to be able to have 2 years of activities so that we can bring this back together. So because of that kind of energy, and you know, we don't want to leave them walking out of here going, oh my God, like, ooh, this feels kind of weird. We have another really cool new addition this year. Now you can flip that slide. And it's pound classes. Anybody seen pound classes? Oh my God, they're so cool. You do it? Oh my God. So talk a little bit about it, would you?
It's basically like very intense music, like stuff that you hear on the radio and stuff now. But it's really loud. You get these green sticks. They're called rip sticks.
Mm-hmm.
It's fantastic. It's a workout that you want to die by the time you're done when you start it. But it's really, really great.
Yeah.
I don't know who's gonna do it. Is her name Erica?
Yeah.
She is
Yeah.
the best.
Oh, it's so
She is
cool.
so good. So it's
I was
it's
watching it
not
on-
to be missed.
Yeah, I was
part.
watching it online, and it's so cool. So it's like drumsticks almost. They're called ripsticks,
Yeah.
but they look like drumsticks.
Yeah.
But she teaches you how to hit them together, then you hit the floor, then you're doing this, and you're doing all, I mean, it's an aerobic exercise. So any of you that are here on, what is that, day 2? You know. Please wear sweats, yeah, because it's gonna be great. But it's gonna be a great positive energy way to end the day, all right? And you can see down here, that's kind of a cool picture. I just realized that was Robin Roberts. Oh my God, okay. All right, so day 3, another new addition. That is so exciting to me. I love to cook. So when this was brought to my attention, I'm like, yes, we gotta bring this in. So Mi Casa Su Casa, so excited about this. They're going to come in on day 3, so that's weekend 2 on Saturday, and they're gonna teach a cooking class. So your role will be right there, to be right there with the girls. You're not gonna have to teach them anything. You're just gonna make sure that they're following direction, that they're staying safe. And the whole idea is teaching them how do you prep a meal, how do you work together, in a sense, creating some teamwork. They'll eat what they make. I think we're having empanadas. Love those. And we're gonna have fun doing it. So we'll put on some great Spanish music while, I'm not sure, is Johanny coming or who's?
I don't know, Jackie and Josephina are both coming.
They're both coming? Okay, excellent. It's gonna be a great, yeah.
And I think Johanny was just elected.
She was to the board, exactly, which is so awesome.
And she's also on our panel for the film.
Yes, she is. Yes, she is. Yeah. So it's really, really cool. I'm very, very excited. And that's one of the things that we want to be able to do is make sure that our girls see their community in front of us. We can do great work, but you know, when they, and that was the other thing with the DoubleTree, you know, most of the staff at the DoubleTree live within, you know, a 10-minute walk. And so to see what Craig Poole has done and his staff have done, to be able to take neighborhood folks and be able to say, no, this is etiquette, this is how you treat each other, this is what you do. It's gonna be a really awesome experience. So we'll start the morning out with that, and then the rest of that day really is devoted to the service projects. Now, do you wanna talk about those tonight, or do you wanna leave that until?
Sure.
Oh, I'd love to. So tell us, what are we going to do?
We have 5 different projects. So one of them, we're making dog leashes with Deb Gingrich for the Animal Rescue League. She has a side business where she does these with like paracord, and they're going to be braided. Another one, we are making dinner in a jar again for the fire company.
That was
very excited about that. We are making customized bookmarks with the kids' pictures on them for the Opportunity House Second Street Learning Center, and we have books too to donate to all of them. So it'll be a bookmark and a book for each child. There are like 50 plus of those. We have Caroline is putting together pillows, no-sew pillows with fleece, tying those for Safe Berks. And then the 5th one, I'm forgetting. Oh yes, we're making busy bags for the Reading Hospital for children who are in the waiting room at the emergency department. So to you know keep them busy while they're waiting.
Yeah, absolutely, that's awesome. So this is one of my favorite parts because it really, the girls really get to learn about teamwork at this point and the projects. Now, one of the things that you will be doing is, you know, really having conversation with them about, so who does this help and how does it help them? And just teaching them to think through, this isn't just something I'm doing with my hands, but who is it benefiting and how is it benefiting them? One of the things that we've made easy is whenever you're at a table with the girls and they're doing an activity, we either have built-in questions for you to ask them, or we have these great little table topics that, you know, if you're not sure how to strike up a conversation, or what, you know, you don't have girls, you only have boys, or, you know, whatever. It's a great way for them to feel connected. So we really, you know, worked on making it easy. So with the, well, back to that one. We talk about the service project, one of the things that they have to do on day 4, okay, it's all right, that's good enough, is to look at why is this a problem? Like, why does this group need this project? What's the problem? Why is it important? Who does it help? What's the impact of this help? So all you're doing is leading them through a conversation of what that is, all right? We'll have some of that information, you know, we'll kind of pull some of that stuff together. So it's just a matter of having that conversation. And then the chain reaction piece is, so what could you do after this? Like, how else could you help your community? What are some other things you could do? So that they begin to look at service learning as something that is just part of their lives, okay? Becomes something that they do all the time. And then, so finally, now the last day is when the recipients come to pick up their service projects. So the girls when they first get there, they have lunch, and then they begin to kind of put a presentation together. We want them to be able to present to the group what it is they're doing and why they did this for that group. The other thing that we used to have early in the summit, and we moved it, we kind of switched it and moved it to the back. You can see these girls have capes on, like Wonder Woman, right? This is something we started about 5 years ago, 6 years ago, I'm not sure exactly. But we want the girls to walk away understanding that no matter who they are, no matter where they live, it doesn't matter. They have power. And how can they use that power? So we have all these great indelible markers and glitter markers, and they each get a cape, and they lay their capes out, and they write on each other's capes, and they draw stars, and they draw all kinds of things, so that they leave with a cape. We also have them leave with a reflection, so that they get to talk about, so what was Summit like for them? What did they learn? How did they learn it? You know, that type of thing. What can they do after Summit? We have some great extra things. I think Sorelli Jewelers is coming the last day of Summit. And so they have a special gift for all the girls. They're gonna have a little story to tell, and then they have something special. But it's a really nice way to end the summit, to really be able to say, you know, this was a great opportunity for them to learn about themselves, for them to learn about others, for them to get into being with girls from other schools, and get to, you know, create new friendships. And it's a really cool way to kind of pull it all together and end the 4 days. So questions about that? And somebody has to be telling me what time it is, because I don't have anything.
good.
I'm good?
You're
Okay.
good.
So, questions about the summit? And then I'll go through a couple little things that we want to pay attention to. But right now, any questions? Any comments related to past summit activities that you were part of, that you want to share with those to say, hey, comment's fun?
Hey, comment's fun.
Jess, you had,
to do any of the jobs.
yeah,
Yeah, can we
Don't be
take
scared.
away your fears?
yeah.
Don't be scared.
No, can you talk about, you had a great group last year at your table. I mean, they really bonded. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Sure. I mean, everyone knows how I am.
What's that mean?
I just was my normal self, and I think at the opening circle, we were going around and saying, like, you know, where are you, what school do you go to, or what do you do in our cases, and, you know, people were saying I'm a stay-at-home mom, or I go to Muhlenberg, or whatever, and I said I go to work. And I guess these girls got a kick out of it, because then the next thing we did was I went to a table, and all these girls came to my table. And it just so happened that they were all girls from Muhlenberg.
From
and,
Casey's, that's right.
Immediately, we just kind of bonded and just had fun together, and I mean, I am me like this all the time. I don't change. If you guys have hung out with me, you know that. And I'm the same way with the girls. I don't sugarcoat things. I joked around with them just like I joke around with you guys. I have my same sense of humor with them as I do. I didn't monitor or filter myself with them, and they loved it. And so to this day, I'm still in touch with all of them. We talk on Snapchat all the time. I volunteer sometimes when I can, when I'm not traveling for work, at their volunteer club with
They always say,
Casey.
well, Jess is at work.
They know my schedule better than I do. And, you know, they're just a great group of girls, and I'm so happy that they're all gonna actually be coming back this year to Summit to help with the service learning projects.
That's right,
So
that's
they're
right.
Summit graduates, and they're
Yeah.
gonna be rejoining us. And again, it's just another opportunity for me to see them.
Mhm.
They all came to Global Youth Service Day. Like, we just sort of take any
Yeah.
chance that we can to see each other and, you know, have that time together. But we really just enjoyed working together at Summit and learning about each other, and I don't know, what more can I say?
Yeah,
It was-
that's cool.
It was just cool.
Thanks.
I was gonna say, just to piggyback on Jess, because I was there with her group, and these are, Jess is authentic and genuine, and she is who she is, and she's present, and I think that's what they want.
Yeah.
They just want you to be there and care to be there, just be yourself, and there was a part that I was there that you had to draw a superhero. What is a superhero?
Oh, that's right,
What
we
kind
did.
of hair do they have, what do they dress, or do they work, are they a mom? And these girls, without realizing it, doing purpose, drew it, and I was like, y'all, that's Jess. Like, literally, she's got on a hair bow, like, she's not a hair bow, but, like, and she just they drew it, and they're like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, and they were so excited, and so just being present and just being there is the most important thing you can do. You don't have to have every single tool or be as good at talking about it as these girls that are running it and go all the time or sharing. You just have to be.
They don't
present in
care, they
yourself,
just
like,
wanna feel
yeah.
connected,
Yeah.
they want that sense of belonging.
They wanna be
You know?
treated like grown-ups.
Yeah, you
I
know?
will tell you that. They
Yeah.
don't wanna be treated like babies.
Yeah.
So if you baby
That was
them,
one of the
they'll
things-
pick right up on it.
Yeah, when we went around and we asked them at one point about, what would they, if they could be anything, what would they like to be? It was amazing. I mean, these girls were not pulling out, I mean, they were pulling out, you know, I wanna be a pediatrician, and I wanna be an astronaut, and I wanna be, and like, let's go, come on, let's give them, and yet we, at the same time, it wasn't about putting anyone else down, it was that they needed those hopes and dreams, they needed to hold on to something. So it was a really cool, that exercise we may, so we have a couple little exercises like that we've taken out this year, but depending on time, because sometimes we have illusions of grandeur of what we're going to accomplish in a day, and then I have to just go, you know what, let's put that aside, we're not doing that today. But we have a couple of those exercises that if there is a lull, if we finish something earlier, we can pull those right back in, and that's something super easy to do. But when you said that, it made me think, I remember the year before, there was the one table of girls, and they drew a young girl who was half white and half black. And it was about the whole idea of diversity, and that when we can see each other, you know, we really connect with each other. And oh my God, my heart just seriously melted, because, you know, with what we're going on in this country today, it's so important for us to be able to see each other, and that no one is not seen. So it's a powerful 4 days, or 2 full days, 2 half days. We've made it so that there is nothing seriously that you have to worry about, that as far as connecting with the girls. I did put, it's in your packet, but I'll go through a few slides very quickly. This is the bottom line. Just talk to them. Just be present, build relationships with them, get to know them, ask them about, you know, what they like to do in their spare time. They love to talk. So when you are relationship centered, then when we get into the activities, you know, we can, you know, you begin to identify what are their strengths, what is it they're good at, because that's going to come out in several of the activities. And by doing that, then when there's conversations that go a little bit deeper, you're able to help them solve problems. You're able to help them come with solutions. Well, you know, I'm just trying to think. Brittany, when you've got, you know, you told me you were really good at being organized. Well, how might that help you in this situation that you're telling me about now? And that's what you would end up doing. Just helping them see cause and effect, all right? But really, really keeping it simple, all right? It's not about getting everybody to follow you. You're not in charge. This is their weekend. They're in charge. All you're doing is helping them to blossom, helping them to, you know, to come out and be able to see themselves. Just one more, there we go. So a couple things, and you can go through these, you can just kind of pull them all up. So a couple things is, as Jess said, just be genuine, just be yourself. Smile. If you want to talk to one of your friends, that's great if we're in the middle of, we're not doing anything or there's nothing for you to do. But otherwise, I'd say that's the only thing that I always ask league members is don't stand off to the side and spend your time talking with your friends. Get in there, because your experience, you will walk away a changed person when you get in there and truly do it. The girls love to hear their name called. We all love to hear our own name when somebody calls us by name. They're gonna have name tags on, so get to know their names. If you don't know how to pronounce it, ask them. Ask them where it came from. How did their mom come up with that? Or, you know, because some of the names are really pretty funky. So,
Hey, Sharon.
yeah,
Jump in
Yeah.
real quick here.
Totally.
One of the first things that I did with the girls is a lot of their names were really hard to pronounce, and like one of them, Avriana, like I still can't say her name, but I talk to her all the time. So I just started putting on Post-its like silly names for each of them. Like, I mean, runs with the scissors, and I like put it on her name tag, and they thought it was the funniest thing. Like,
yeah.
just do silly stuff with them.
Absolutely.
Like, just don't hesitate.
Yeah.
Just be yourself.
Well, and that's why I like that, let go of preconceived notions of what you think they're expecting of you, or what your fear, what your voices in your head of what you think this should be. Just be a 12-year-old girl. That's all they want, honestly. That's all they want. It works for me, even though I'm 63, because I'm only the size of a 12-year-old girl. So, you know, they love that. They just want you to be kind of cool and not have to be, you know. Discuss what they're learning. We talked about that. Ask them questions. You don't need to go deep, but so why do you think that? Well, where did that come from? Well, who made you, you know? They love to, because that helps them explore, but it also gives them the skills to have conversation and to really think about where things come from, okay? All right. Shared gratitude, absolutely. We want to be able to, at every activity that we do, talk about, so what was this like? Okay, what's one thing you liked about this? Or here's what I liked, and get them in the habit of being grateful for everything and anything, okay? Now I put this up here only because this has not happened seriously in 5 or 6 years, where something has come out that was uncomfortable. And it's because we purposely developed the curriculum in a way that doesn't put you in an uncomfortable position. We know that if we're there, we're mandated reporters, and there was a time when, you know what, the curriculum wasn't set up, or the conversation went way too deep, and people felt uncomfortable. But let's just say one girl's talking a little snarky about another one. All right, so it's not an intervention from the standpoint that you have to be a mandated reporter and you have to say something. But this is just a very simple way, and it's in your folder, but it's a very simple way of just stop, pause for a second. Is that necessary? You're better than that. You just whisper something, okay? But you encourage, it's like, that makes me feel uncomfortable when I hear girls talk like that. So all you're doing is being real again, being honest. But you're not, letting them know that, at Summit's about building everybody up. Summit's about making everybody feel they have some power. So you're describing it. And then, maybe ask, maybe it's something else that it isn't about something that's said that you want to ask the group. So how do you guys feel about this? How do you feel about that activity? So it's a question that is more of a group check. And then just be clear about what the expectations are or not. But I have not heard anyone need to do this in 5 or 6 years that I've been part of the summit with you. So it's just that preparedness. So it's there if you feel uncomfortable. And you know what? If there's anything that happens that makes you feel uncomfortable, whatever, then just see me. If Casey's there, Casey's a counselor, I'm a counselor. If we have to intervene, we will. But generally speaking,
And I was just gonna say too, just modeling appropriate behaviors.
Absolutely.
Like if you go along with the conversation and just sit there,
yeah,
you're modeling that behavior is okay.
absolutely.
So just trust your instinct and just know,
Yeah.
okay, this isn't okay, I need to address it.
Absolutely, absolutely. But along with that, but along with that, is, that modeling of behavior. If, one of your colleagues isn't doing something that you had an expectation they're gonna do, and you turn to another colleague and say, oh, well, she's always late, or she's always this or that. Understand that that's saying that behavior is acceptable. So that's the modeling part, both of what you want, okay, and then not doing what you don't want, all right? That's the bottom line. If we want transformation in the girls, that transformation has to begin with us. Has to begin with us being fully authentic, fully engaged, fully present, willing to be goofy, willing to just have fun, willing to put all our baggage aside and just, be with them for that 2 hours or 3 hours or 4 hours, whatever it is that you're there, because that's what's really important, okay? That's it, okay? So there's a little bit more in your handout. But again, Jess and the team really worked very hard to be able to say, listen, this is not about we need you to do all these grandiose things. We're making it as super simple as we possibly can.
Does anyone have any questions, concerns, anything for Sharon about Summit?
Yes.
We have 44 signed up right now. And we need actually volunteers to sign up.
Yes, we do.
Right now, we're about 50% covered, which is great. We have 2 weeks left to go. So if you guys haven't already signed up for shifts at Summit, please do so. We have had some people sign up for overlapping shifts. So if you have signed up, please double check that you're not signed up for 2 shifts that are kind of 12 to 4 and then 2 to 4 on the same day. Cause that. And,
Believe it or not, we have had a few people who did that.
and that's okay, I get it, it's a little confusing. But if you're coming to Summit, please expect that when you come in the door, what's gonna happen is Lydia is going to be there, like Vanna White with her clipboard.
Yeah.
And she is going to give you a job. And whatever that job is, please don't give Lydia a hard time. It will be something that
I don't wanna do that.
we can do, and it will not be difficult or scary, and if you have questions about it, we will help you with it. But, come to Lydia, and she will give
And you may be doing anything from signing the girls in, to, you know, working on a project at the table, to putting food out and getting lunch out, or, you know.
You might be waiting tables.
That's
like
right.
Etiquette luncheon. You might be cooking.
Yeah.
If we could have a round of applause for Sharon.
Don't need applause. No, the team.
And also for the Community Development
Yeah.
Committee, who have been busting their asses.
A lot of really
Thank you
cool
very
stuff.
much, ladies. Come in your jeans, your sneakers, don't wear makeup, and wear Junior League hats. The girls don't care what you look like, what you're wearing. They don't care if you have fancy eyelashes or cutie patootie little clothes. They just want you to be real and basic. Wear sweatpants, sneakers, and be real. That's what it's about. Okay, let's wrap it up. So, on the Junior League table out front, anybody who didn't get a chance that ordered swag, but didn't get a chance to pick it up at headquarters, it's out on the table. There's also 6 extra shirts, 3 men medium, 3 men in size large, $10 each. If you want them, pay Jess before you leave tonight, and then you can take them. Bulk mail. I got my bulk mailing today. How many other people got their bulk mailing? Woo! Lots of good information in there. Please pay attention. The Women to Women Vicki Clark event, you can get a reduced ticket, $5 off. The breakfast sign-up information, Founders Award. We need you to nominate fellow members. Get that into me ASAP. The Made a Difference Sustainer Recognition Award. We need people to nominate others. The Community Partner Awards. Who do you think we should give that to this year? We need to hear from you. And there's lots of other great information in there. So please pay attention to your bulk mailing. Don't throw it in the trash. Any announcements? Any other new business? Anyone? Amanda?
Spring social.
Yes!
We have one. It is gonna be, we're keeping it local on Penn Avenue. So it's gonna be Tuesday, March 19th. The first part, thank you Rachel Eskin, it's gonna be a little pre-shopping event at It's a Gift from 5 to 7:30. It's kind of a just come in, shop. 20% of sales that day are gonna go back to us. Then the second part is at Wine Down at 7:30 to 8:30. It's an artisan cheese and wine pairing. They did one for us a couple of years ago. It was great. So we're doing it again. It's $36. That's for the Wine Down part. You can come to both things. You can come to one thing. It's whatever you want, but it's kind of, that's what the night is going to encompass. And then we'll finish at Wine Down around 8:30, so then we'll be able to stay and have some more wine if you want. It's going to be really great. So it's $36. Checks can be sent to Jessica.
Yep.
Yes.
Checks payable to Junior
Checks
Reading.
payable to Junior Reading. Super fun. But they cap out at about $35.40. It's going to be because we're going to be in a private room, the whiskey place next door. So sign up early. It's going to be great.
Other announcements, Laura?
Just a reminder, if you haven't seen it in the Love 'em and Lead 'em, we have our Junior League placement interviews for actives on March the 7th. At headquarters, you'll be getting a sign up from your advisors. You can pick your time slot, but plan to come and hang out a little before or afterwards. So that's on the 7th.
Perfect. Alyssa?
Touch a Truck, just a reminder, is April 20th. We will have sign-ups before the next GMM. So everybody look out for that and bring your kids, mark your calendars, and hopefully there will be no rain.
No ring. No ring. All right, holler for $1. Anybody have money? I have $20 for the new member, the Community Development Committee, sorry, for all their hard work. Thank you, ladies. Everything, someone's gonna be amazing. Anyone have any other holler for $1? Steph?
I have money for Lindsay for doing a great job on the film.
Yes, thank you, Lindsay. Anyone else? Jess?
Me, Jess?
Yes, you Jess.
I have. Well, there's no other Jess. I have $20. Part of this is going to Katie Williams for all of the hard work that she's done on the service learning project.
Yay,
So
Katie.
she's doing great. Part of this is going to Lydia for coordinating all of the volunteers and literally being with me for every single thing that we've done with Summit, like everything. And part of this is also going to Casey Trexler because she is so helpful with the girls from Muhlenberg and bringing the graduates back to Summit this year, which is the first time that we're gonna have graduates at Summit.
Yay!
So that's very exciting. And then part of this is also for Liz and Kate, who aren't here, but they're rocking Service Saturdays
They
still.
are. Yes.
And they've done
They are.
just an amazing, amazing job with it.
They
So
are.
I'm really
Yes.
excited for them, and thanks for everybody.
Thank you, Jess. Anyone else have any holler for dollars? Alyssa?
Mine is for Kate. She has done an awesome job with PR, and I know specifically for special events, she has been very on top of everything, turning it around really quickly. So.
Any other holler for dollars? Any other new business? Any other announcements? We are adjourned. Thanks, ladies. Oh, sorry, Laura.
Sign up for Summit.
Yeah. Yes, sign up for Summit.
Please.
I don't want to put her on the spot, but we have a new transfer, from Louisiana that's here tonight, our first night.
We suck at being welcoming.
So anyway, she's here from Louisiana, very happy to have another Southerner, fantastic. So if you ever get a chance to get to meet her,
We're very sorry that you ended up at the table by yourself. We're working on our welcoming skills. Sorry.